That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
It's the Real Negus and we back.
We back in here.
That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
HBO got a show about blacks.
And it's not whack.
It's far, far, far from whack, Mike.
Bruh.
Man. What, Mike? What? This episode was crazy, bro.
I keep trying to tell myself like it might be just presentism, but I really think that was one of the best hours I've ever seen on TV, bro.
It was really dope. It was one of those episodes where, I mean, you really can't fully appreciate it unless you are a black woman. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I have and you have like admiration, respect, love for black women, and we see it through the lens of being men. But I know what watching that episode did for me as a man, for you as a man, but I can only imagine what it did for women as they watched it, you know?
Yeah, man, because like whenever she was talking, whenever Hippolyta was talking, I understood what she was saying from an objective, like sympathetic point.
Yeah.
But even though it was like she put it in a way that I'd never heard, I could see that, right? Like how she was mad and how like the world makes women, especially black women, small, and how it makes them angry. And even when a black woman is everything we want her to be, it's still smaller than probably what she's wants capable to be.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was, and you're so right about that. Like I really just kind of looked at just how like this whole thing explored identity, and she was not locked into a cell or a cage or a prison as long as she knew who she was, but it was up to her to free her mind so the rest could follow.
Right.
And you know, she definitely wasn't colorblind, and you know, her thoughts just allowed her to not be so shallow. Right. And right. I mean, she was pretty in vogue in this whole episode. I mean, yeah, I mean, they had, you know, I thought about the old Chris Rock joke about Janet Jackson when Timberlake pulled the titty out, and it was like, that's your man's titty. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you got community titty, and that's your man's titty. Well, they showed hippopotamus with Hippolyta. We gotta put respect on the name. I can't even joke about her name. Like, right. It's too powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, she came through, you know what I mean? Like, they showed her bare, naked, you know what I'm saying? She was loose with it. And then she put the alien outfit on, the Ripley outfit on, and like, man, like it was so empowering because you
right. Like, first of all, she freaked the outfit, right?
Then she freaked it.
Yeah, she took the sleeves off, but she gave herself some cufflinks, you know.
Yeah, she was ready for the classic. She was about to put some heels on.
Yeah.
With it, you know what I mean? She was ready for the black homecoming.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was wild, man. It was so raw. Just exploring. I mean, really just her part. Like the main characters of the show were like way in the background of this. Like this was like its own thing, man. I really enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed this episode. It's still not my favorite, man. But I think it's tied for second.
What's your favorite?
Last week's episode was my favorite, like so far. I mean, I think it's gonna change. I appreciated the exploration that last episode did of like just femininity and the depths of it as it's actually chained to a monster. But in this one, it was more like exploration tied to like age-old societal norms. Like,
right.
You know,
I think the reason this was my favorite was the reason that last week, like So last week was definitely a better exercise in storytelling. There was the beginning, a middle, and the end, right?
Well, I meant discovery, Mike. I didn't mean to say exploration a second time, but yeah, it was more discovery. But keep going.
But this week's episode, right? Like it took a theme and it took an existential theme, right? Like it's hard, man, in filmmaking and in writing and in storytelling to say what you want to say, right? As in a, like if you want to make an existential point in an essay, to say that without sounding preachy and having it wrapped in a story, right? But they found a way to do, like last week was just like who this girl, you know, who was Kamiho and what she means to the story, her importance to the story, how she met Atticus and all of that. So it just filled in gaps. But this week really explored an existential theme inside the storytelling without like being preachy or putting the storytelling to the side. And that's why I think it was the best episode.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm right there with you. I really thought that I mean, you know, Hippolyta is, I think her real name is Aunjunae Ellis. And I told her she played Sister Girl in Undercover Brother. And I know that you know, the chasm between Undercover Brother and this show is wide and vast, but that was my moment of discovery with her and just really appreciating just the levels of which she's always exuded strength every time she's on the screen. Like I ain't never really seen her do no stupid roles. I ain't never seen her, you know, do anything that compromises her Black womanhood like Hollywood does, or like how you were saying, like with just these different tropes that they assign to Black women. Like she has always been like 100 in her roles. And even in an episode in which she was allowed to be vulnerable, she didn't lose a part of herself. It was still about discovery and pushing forward.
Right. So let's begin at the beginning, man.
Yeah, man, let's jump in. We saw her, you know, she was pulling through the notes. It was notes on a scandal. And then, you know, she was looking at the orrery. And then you discovered that it was 3 days. 3 days had passed. Now they never did explore the 3 days until like the now part. So I did get lost in that. If I do want to pick apart something in the episode, remember it started off saying it was like this happened 3 days prior, but it never said like where we were, like, you know, up to date. I don't like when shows do that. Like I wish that's why it's not my favorite. Nah, I was just playing. I'm nitpicking. But no, we saw Hippolyta, you know, with the CSI skills, trying to figure out how to unlock the orrery, and bam, she used the Black girl magic and it popped open, man. What you thought?
Yeah, I think one, you know, there was a callback to when she was at the museum in episode 3 or 4, when she was telling her daughter that her and her father used to, you know, study astronomy and interplanetary science, right? So you saw how she got the knowledge to figure out like how to tilt the planets to open up the to get the key. And then you saw her daughter, her and her daughter head out to you in Woody. You know, Woody needed a good bath, but you know, they didn't get. And then you saw Atticus and what's her name, Letitia, arguing about, you know, first they were arguing about his father, and then they were arguing, you know, they were trying to make some sense out of what was going on, so they went to visit Omar.
Yeah, and you know, Omar was involved in a lover's quarrel. You know, it explored. I mean, you know, that's that's a wild part. I mean, the man literally was beaten by his father because he was gay, and then because he was gay, because he was beaten and like he was like at war with himself, he beat up Atticus and took out all of his aggression on him. And man, like I don't know, like I'm kind of tired of that, because that's probably like the most emotional anchor of the whole show, because it's like he really, as much as he's trying to discover or accept that he is this gay man, like he on some old yellow shit, Mike. Like he really need to be put out the pasture. Cause like in a way, I feel like he's also having like a survivor's remorse because George is dead, and he doesn't. Not only does he not add to like the main storyline, but like even in his conflict, he doesn't add anything to his son. And
I think he does. I disagree, right? Because like part of who Atticus is, right, is he was shaped by like his daddy whipping his ass, right? And all of his emotional distance, all of his, like even his reaction to the war is the ability to put aside violence for the sake of just stuff it away and compartmentalize it, which is kind of what his dad taught him to do, right? To deny a part of himself.
Yeah,
right?
But like, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, now I was saying, like, even in that, like, why, like, he's trying to exude a strength, but it's like he's not fully himself, so it doesn't come through in his discipline of his son. His son calls him out his name, and then like he's really mad about that. But then his son asks, did mama know? And if you look at that scene again, his arm starts to twitch because he was about to say yes with it. Like he said the yes part, but he wanted to give him two snaps.
He's stupid.
And
well, see, man, I think
his arm was in him.
I think his relationship with Atticus is like, first of all, it shows again how Atticus relates to the world. But I think, in a sense, right, it shows like how he, like it's like almost like if Hippolyta's journey was an exploration of womanhood, like it's almost like that veil of masculinity that we believe in. Like what the fuck makes him a man, right? Like, does him beating the shit out of his son and making him tough, so-called tough, like, was he shaping a man or just wearing away at his masculinity, right? So yeah, I like that. I like Omar in this.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about him is really though, I feel like those grits were the right consistency. Like I don't understand why he was complaining about them grits, bro.
I don't know about that, Mike. Them grits was mad watery. Real niggas need thick grits, man. Like, and clearly, that explored a vulnerability, because I mean that was like watery.
Nah, them grits weren't watery, man.
Like you can't, like you gotta have like
your
grits, Mike.
So if you put your grits on a plate, are they supposed to spread out over the plate or be in a mound?
I mean, I feel like, I don't think they should be in a mound. I think that they can I think they could be a little versatile, but I mean, don't be soupy. He had soup grits.
Man. I feel like if he would have, he could put those grits on a plate or in a bowl. And if you put them on the plate, they wouldn't swim over to your biscuit. So they wasn't that watery, right?
But considering the scene that we got like a couple of episodes ago, you know, your grits shouldn't mimic other bodily functions.
Man.
And then he gave him bacon too. I mean, he clearly don't do the pork. He trying to kill the nigga. Like, it's like, damn, bro, he don't really love him. You know what I mean? So then that's what made him even angrier. Like, he ain't got nobody fix him no good food. He need a home cooked meal, and he's struggling. And then his son don't like him. His son done found out. The folks in the neighborhood done found out. I mean, it's a little bit too much going on. You know, that's a lot of drama going on over there. But I mean, then we got to see Ruby. Ruby had the fresh lokes on with the Daisy Dukes. She had the donkey butt and the big old legs. And you know, pretty soon the white dude was laying up in hospice, but he still wasn't too proud to beg.
Right.
And you know, her and Letty still got beef. Like, that was the first time we saw them. I mean, it was crazy. Out of all the stuff that is going on, we done been to Korea, we done been to Gary, Indiana Jones, and all of that been going on, and they hadn't spoken.
Right.
Oh yeah, she done went Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and them two have not spoken.
She done got a job and
still, right.
You know, then sexually assaulted her boss.
Exactly. Which, is he dead, Mike? Because
I don't know, man. I think he's still alive. I don't think that can kill you, man.
But I need it to. Like, I don't need him to be alive to snitch that a black woman had a bloody white woman remnants on her and stabbed in the butt with a high heel. Yeah, with a stiletto with Cardi B music playing. Like, right. we don't need him still breathing air.
Maybe he on health leave, man. He's taking some personal days.
Yeah, he definitely on FMLA. He got to be on it. Like, he gonna run out all his sick and vacation. Like, he wrapped up. Like, 2020 ain't his. 1950 ain't his year.
So tell me this: do you think Letty is pregnant?
I definitely think Letty's pregnant. I think that's why she was having the dream, because the baby is having that dream and it's affecting her. You know,
it could be, man, but Letty is technically dead. So can she get pregnant? Can dead people get pregnant?
Oh, that's deep. Like, I don't know. You know,
and so I was feeling like, what if the garlic wasn't morning sickness, but you know, vampires are allergic to garlic?
Oh, Mike, that's a scoop. I ain't think about that. I mean, that's deep because, I mean, you know, both technically her and George died.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the only one brought back to life. And I mean, so far, you know, because I don't know, all these references to George, I mean, he could be on the planet, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, kicking it. But I don't know, Mike, you just stomped the Real Negus with that one. I mean, I think she's pregnant, but like, what is she pregnant with? Could it be one of them vampire monsters?
Yeah.
That we saw earlier. Because we saw the girl give birth to the little cow monster. But right. We ain't seen no more of that, you know?
And, you know, she could be just monster skin. Just like the white lady had a white dude for monster skin.
Yeah, the Jekyll and Hyde joints. Man, I don't know. That's
Hey, tell me, did you catch this reference? When Letty's sister was babysitting, and they were playing spades.
Uh-huh.
And the girl said, "I wish Bobo was here. When is he coming back? He know how to play."
I caught that, Mike.
Man, that was sad, man. Like
That
that
was
made me sad.
so sad,
If you
bruh.
don't know, if the people watching don't know, Bobo was Emmett Till's nickname. And remember, Bobo went down to Mississippi. He was going to Mississippi for the summer.
I feel like, here's how I feel, Mike. This is very strong. I think on a show, again, where, we've discussed monsters, vampires, Jekyll and Hyde, white supremacy, that the white people are like the scariest part.
Right.
But I think in the midst of trying to overcome that, it is a little bit gratuitous to include this C/D plot line of Bobo.
I don't,
because like where can you really go with it? You can't make it. You like most of those like background plots go forward. Like what you gonna do?
But well, I've heard that next week's episode is all about that.
About Emmett Till?
Right.
I mean, so, but from the way the episode ended with Diana's comic book being left at the scene, I mean, are you saying that they just like they're gonna make Diana be Emmett Till? Or
I don't know.
I've
just read an excerpt, a little paragraph that says by the writers of the showrunner that says like next week's episode.
Hold up, Mike. Did you say read?
I didn't read the book, bruh.
Did you say read, Mike?
I didn't read the book. I work for a company that writes about the show.
Mike, you read.
I don't think Emmett Till is in the book.
I don't think he is. I mean, he could be though. You know what I mean? But I don't know, Mike. You've been reading. Ain't no telling.
But what if Carolyn Bryant Donham is in the Sons of Man?
In the Book of Names?
Yeah, the Book of Names. Or she's in the group, like she has some kind of spell, because she's still alive. Like for
she
real.
Is still alive. Yeah. That actually would be dope. I saw a meme this week. They said if we could send a 80-year-old, a 83-year-old Bill Cosby to jail, why can't we send an 80-year-old white woman, Carol, whatever her name is? We need to. She
is responsible for Emmett's death, but I think like she didn't really kill Emmett. She just told a lie that made some motherfuckers kill him. Like,
I mean, that's enough right there.
I think so too. But
yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how it go. So we saw Hippolyta become Hidden Figures. Speaking of historical figures, she went full Hidden Figures. She calculated the space-time continuum, and instead of sending a white man to the moon, she went and hung out with Erykah Badu. What are your thoughts on?
So first of all, we can't forget that when we talk about Emmett Till, right? We got to remember that they drop all kinds of historical nuggets in this show, right? So the woman, remember, like just a random scene of the black woman on a motorcycle passing her.
Oh yeah. We gotta talk about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is a famous black woman motorcyclist, and it was just like a reference to her, right?
Yeah. Bessie Stringfield,
right,
rode her motorcycle through all 48 contiguous states.
Right.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to bring it up at the end. But I felt like, seeing her on that motorcycle and you know the way the rest of the episode played out, and I mean the scenes following it was uh, like a prelude to this struggle for freedom and what freedom really is. And Bessie went everywhere on her bike, and it was cool not only to see that, but then she was also traveling the route of the Green Book.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then they just, you know, they passed by each other, and in a way, it was almost like on some superhero shit. They gave each other the black female superhero nod. And yeah, I dug that. I did peep that.
And so I felt like she was like the physical representation of what Hippolyta could have become, wanted to become, or imagined herself becoming, right? Like she was the explorer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she was the discoverer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. Just to give that head nod, that especially when Hippolyta's character, because remember now from the first episode, Hippolyta always was like, I want to go out on the road and write the stuff for the Negro motorists.
Right. So and let's get into that. Just that conversation that she had with George, was that I mean, what is the remedy to that? Is the remedy for her and George to have done it together, or was it George does what he does and she do what she got to do, and then they bring all of that back to the home?
I don't know. Like I think you are thinking like a band, right?
Right. I know. Right. I'm acknowledging that.
Right.
And I'm also acknowledging the fact that you know, like I need my wife, and my wife, you know, needs me, and we need each other. Right. But how do we coexist with ambition?
Right. But what I'm saying when I say you're thinking like a man is, right, like you're searching for a solution. Right. When I think she just wanted George to know how she felt, right? Like I don't think she was saying, George, we did it wrong. You should have went sometimes and I should have went sometimes, or you should have let me go more. She was just like expressing to George that she felt small, and so like he had a whole purpose to his life and he died, right, doing that thing that he wanted to do.
Right.
And it's not saying that George did it wrong.
Right.
But I think what it was is she wanted George to know how she felt. Like she was the explorer.
Yeah. And I guess I'm trying to figure out like what is the lesson learned there, that if you know, if everything stopped with her, what door could she open? What door is she opening, or what story is she leaving? What breadcrumbs is she leaving for the next generation? And
I think what breadcrumbs she's leaving, right, is for her daughter, right?
Right.
She has the ability to shape someone into that explorer, into that. Her daughter really has the same kind of ambition and future that she could have had. And maybe the answer is not like, don't get no husband, don't let no man tie you down. It is that explore everything, every part of yourself that you can. And I think that's what she was doing. That she was expressing that and coming to the realization that, and I think like part of it is like that whole journey, right, was she really did in that episode have the ability to be and anything she wanted to be and go wherever she wanted to go. And at the end, she said, "Yo, I want to go back home."
Yeah, yeah. So, right, and even even discovering and being everywhere that she wanted to be, her, I guess her mission, her I don't want to say purpose, but like you know, the thing that made her her was her home. But like you said, she needed George to know that.
Right.
She needed that expressed, and it wasn't expressed in a way that lessened him, that, you know, that lessened their relationship, or, you know, any of the things that they accomplished together. It was that needed to be stated. Like,
Right.
it's almost like she needed to show that you are not the only superhero. Like,
Right.
I gotta, not only am I a superhero, but like, let me take you to this video game called No Man's Sky. I
Right.
played this game called No Man's Sky, Mike, and that's literally what the planet that they landed on looked just like. It had to be the same thing. I don't know if that was like some kind of crossover, but no, like that was incredible. And not only that, Mike, I don't want to overlook the fact that the black hole in black space was a black woman with a dope afro. That if you read the credits, her name is Beyonce, but it's like the French version of C apostrophe S T E S T. I don't know if you saw that,
No, I
but
didn't.
yeah, that was her character name. And so I don't know if that was like Beyonce in the future, or like, I don't know what happened, but like that was pretty dope.
Yeah. And so, okay, one of the things that we got to acknowledge is that, like, that is like the stuff that she was exploring was a real thing, right? So the multiverse theory is that like, if the universe is infinite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, if, of course, in infinite time and infinite space, there must be another planet exactly, or another space and time, just like this, just like Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is also another space and time that is just like this one, but instead of getting married, she became a warrior.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
instead of being married, she went to France, because there's infinite possibilities. If there's infinite possibilities in the world, if the universe is infinite, then all the possibilities that exist in the universe are infinite. It's called the multiverse theory, right? So
Yeah, I saw it on Spider-Man. Go ahead, man.
so she got to explore like all of the possibilities of the things that she wants, but it's a real scientific theory. And I think it's important that she met Josephine Baker, who left the country because she was too much, basically got ran out of the country because she was too much of a black woman.
Yeah,
Right?
she was.
She was not scared of black. She was not scared of white people, and they ran her out of the country.
Yeah, so I only knew one side of Josephine Baker's story, and when we got to DC, we went to the Spy Museum, and like they had a whole section for Josephine Baker and how she was a spy, and I was like, damn, like for real, like this chick was like, why are we getting white man as 007? We need a 00 Baker, you know what I mean? And no, I mean, her story was raw. Speaking of that part with her, did you feel like Hippolyta became Patti LaBelle? Because that was.
I think she was a. They just. I think this. If they wouldn't have played the song, you wouldn't have thought that.
I mean, no, but she had the outfit on. She had the wig. She had like she didn't look like a dancer anymore. She looked just like Patti LaBelle
Yeah, but
in
I think
that era.
yeah, but I think Patti LaBelle was mimicking that era that she was
I
in.
mean, right. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. But like, did Patti LaBelle sing with Josephine Baker, or
No,
was that
I
like?
don't think she. I don't think she sang with good Josephine Baker.
Like it felt like, like when Thor go and hang out with the Incredible Hulk and like a whole nother side movie. Like he brought these two titans of black women together and they sing a song that hadn't even come out yet. And I love how she broke the fourth wall and like stared at us. And like she stared at us like for a really long time. I really thought she like looked at me like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to kind of look away a little bit. But no, like I love that scene right there. That scene was dope. And even her speech to her was really deep. And then she turned into the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, but first, before we go there, man, I hadn't even looked online or anything. But how scared do you think, or appalled do you think, white people were when she said, "I hate white people. I want to kill them."
Oh yeah, that shit was powerful. I think so. I think all white people think that about us in real life, in real time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
especially coming out of the events that happened this week, this past week with Breonna Taylor and all of that. Yeah, there's a sense of just like hopelessness, or that the only way out is violence. But we don't choose that.
Mm-hmm.
That part is not in our nature. Like historically, that has always been white people's nature. Now we can say it, but again, she went right back to herself. Like, I hate myself for even thinking that, because that's not in line with who we are. Like, now we are fighters. Like, as you saw, like she was definitely a fighter. Historically, our people have been fighters. You know, the world has always looked at at black people here in America as like a beacon of light for the world because of our fight, because of the things that we've had to overcome. And just to see, just to hear her say that, like, yeah, man, so like she was tired as fuck. And then she was talking to Josephine Baker, and like Josephine Baker felt it, but she, even with all she's done, she couldn't bring herself to say that, because it's not like she fled America and went and fought for like, I don't know, like Zaire or some shit. You know what I mean? She didn't go to the Congo or no shit like that. You know what I mean? So she went to France and was fighting in the revolution over there. So the shit, that part was wild, man. Like I really appreciated that part. And yeah, I think white people were definitely shaking in their boots when when they said that. She gotta win an award, Mike. You can't keep Aunjunae Ellis from winning nothing.
That was a good episode, man. So then she went back into the future, back in time.
Yeah. And
And
she became, oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was saying she became a Dora Milaje, one of the Benin Warriors.
Yeah, so I think she was like, that was another historical nugget that they were dropping in the show about the Dahomey Warriors, right?
Right.
Who it was a military regiment of black women warriors who went to war with the French.
Right.
And I think she represented that, and like, I guess that is what she was saying, is even if, because the Dahomey Warriors lost, right? But she was saying it wasn't about the losing, it was about fighting them motherfuckers. That's what her whole speech was about.
Yeah.
Like, you see these motherfuckers coming, it's way more of them than us.
Yeah.
But we finna fight these motherfuckers.
So I'm gonna tell you, man, I had one gripe with that scene.
What
I think one of the extras was a white woman.
was it?
Yeah, it kind of soured it just a smidgen. But other than that, no, I felt it. I felt like, were those soldiers Confederate soldiers? Like those were the uniforms. Like how they fighting in the
Not
desert?
no, they were fighting in Africa. They were fighting French troops in Africa.
Man, but those were Confederate uniforms though.
Not if those were khaki, man. Confederate uniforms were gray.
Those were great with the button that with the double breast.
Nah, bro, they were
I
not
think
Confederate.
I think it was Confederate because I
The
don't
Confederates didn't fight with swords, man.
huh?
The Confederate didn't fight with curvy swords.
They had swords though.
They
They had the
had
sword.
bayonets laid it
They,
out. Swords.
I mean, historically, it didn't make sense because the Dahomey Warriors protected the Benin king, and I was hoping that they would hit us with like some hap set shut, but
Mm.
then I was like, nah, they ain't gonna go there with it, and they went Dora Milaje. And now here's the crazy thing, Benin, like how the Benin king got rich, right?
Benin, King of Benin. No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
he got rich by trading black people into slavery, and then his warriors were the Dahomey Warriors. I was calling them the Benin Warriors, but yeah, they the Dahomey Warriors. And I saw this theory that said that this went like too deep because if they based the Dora Milaje off of the Dahomey Warriors, then that made Black Panther be the Benin king,
Now,
and that would
by the time the Benin, by the time the Dahomey Warriors fought the French, slavery was outlawed in all of Europe.
but I'm saying, but he had already amassed his wealth, and his wealth came from the slave trade. And so I saw this theory that uh, um, vibranium was actually like the blood of black slaves that was sold because it was their biggest export, and so that was Benin's biggest export. That's a whole side story rabbit hole, but no, I just to get back to the story, like I thought it was cool. Now she did put on like those were Roman armor that they was fighting in.
No, I mean Africans
I
had
mean, we being a little too nitpicky, but like,
yeah, but Africans had like, where do you think the Romans was getting all of that shit? Like,
yeah, I mean, definitely. No, I'm with it. But no, I thought it was beautiful, man. Then she goes back home. She's with George, and then George, her and George have that speech, and then then she gets catapulted to the alien planet, and she becomes the character that her daughter created, and then we cut back to
she became
Tick.
the cat. Hold on. She became the character that her daughter created.
Yeah, the little comic book. I can't think of the name of the comic book, but the character that she drew on the cover was what Hippolyta was dressed as.
Oh, right.
Yeah, when they got off the little alien spaceship, and which signified her becoming that character.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Okay,
then,
right.
Yeah. So then
I just don't understand why I guess we're gonna learn why the police were protecting that shit.
Well, the police was protecting it because dude, the sheriff back
Right.
in Chicago had his troops out there.
Right. But I guess, like, if it wasn't working for all those years, why the hell are you gonna protect it?
Well, just in case somebody found the key and pulled up,
Yeah.
like
So
old girl did.
yeah. So she was basically like an old boy from Miami. She got the keys.
She got them keys. Yeah, man. So then they showed Tick come back.
Where did Tick
Cause
go? Like, how does he go? Where did he like? Where was he coming from?
that's what I was wondering. Like, cause
Because
he
he didn't
came
go
back.
behind her.
Nah, he went somewhere else, which means that the white man, the other cop, went somewhere else too.
Yeah, they should have threw the shot cop into the space time continuum, man.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I
That's
was
what I
really
was thinking. Why
gonna
don't you
think.
just throw him into the abyss, man? That white
Yeah, I
lady,
mean,
that black lady with the afro would have known what to do.
but like, what if you threw him in there and like somehow they arrested the black lady with the afro?
I don't know, man. See, the white dude didn't have the Apple Watch skin.
Yeah, I don't think he would have. I don't think they would have been able to make it out the prison. The only thing they would have done was just shot her, like, you know what I mean, like, and said, that they shoot first and was like, is anybody here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was wild. But Tick came back like he had just came from like a strip club or
Mm-hmm.
a place that he didn't want nobody to know he had been. And then he was holding a book called Lovecraft Country that was written by Uncle George.
Right. Right.
So did he go into the future? He had to have gone somewhere that Uncle George is still alive.
Yeah. He might have. I guess we're gonna have to find out. I don't want to speculate. Because I mean, maybe he just went just like old boy did. He went to Magic City to get some wings, man.
It could have been. Yeah, he pulled
Right.
a Lou Williams.
Yeah.
Put a Lou Williams on him.
Because yeah.
But no, I mean,
Do you think the wings were good back then?
no,
Had lemon
because
pepper been invented
that's
in the
what I was
19th?
literally just about to say. Lemon pepper wasn't invented. Like
Okay.
we didn't have our full range of spices.
Right.
We didn't get our spices until the Cold War ended.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's how it was.
Yeah.
I can't.
I know Laurie's wasn't invented until like the 1930s.
Yeah, and then when did we get not the red hot? When did we get red hot sauce?
I don't know, but that's probably a little bit later, man. You talking about Louisiana Red Hot? See, I'm a
Yeah.
Texas Pete man myself.
Oh, you do Texas Pete?
Mm.
Okay. Now I'm a bit of a Tabasco guy.
Oh, okay.
But up here they hate Tabasco for some reason. I don't know why there's an embargo against the McElhenney company. And so we don't get a lot of Tabasco. So we do get like they don't even have Texas Pete. Now, do you do Texas Pete with the banana peppers or the red?
The red Texas Pete.
You go with the red. Okay. All right. Now they got a mean pepper sauce with the banana peppers.
Right.
That
right.
go
They
good
do,
on greens.
Right. But I like the regular, because see, Texas Pete is a flavor. It's not just hot.
Got it. I'm with you. I can ride with it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the chicken was good back then. They had like other stuff that was good. Now, you know what's crazy? I hate to bring up another show. Because Fargo is taking place in the 50s in Kansas City. I watched the first 2 episodes of that and then watched Lovecraft Country.
It was almost like a cross.
Yes, there was a lot of bleeding.
Hey, we left out a whole part, right? We left out a whole part about Tick going to visit old girl and finding out he got the same mark on his back.
Oh yeah. Now, who do you think the lady was on the picture?
That was his cousin, right?
Well, she said, "Guess who it is?" But would you and your cousin got the same mark, or would you and your grandmama had the same mark?
Might be, bro.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
I mean, it was both on the usher board.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looked like. It looked like she was holding the church programs too close, and it gave her like a paper cut.
Right.
It was,
I thought it would look like,
mark.
you know how when you it'd be like a funeral, and you don't know what's going on because you coming in late, and the usher try to hold the door, but you try to open it, and the doorknob right there.
That could be it, right?
That could be it, bro.
That could be it. Because not to mention, when that happens, it's normally like hot outside and the doorknob get hot, and it ended up branding the arm. So yeah, I could see that.
Or I don't know how good the soap technology was back then. It could have been some communion that she didn't wipe off good.
Yeah, that could be it. They had a lot of salves.
That's and liniments.
Yeah, they didn't have like aloe vera like we have now. They had salves. Like I remember my grandmother told me to rub some Vic salve on me, and I literally had no idea what she was talking about. It took me 3 weeks and 4 new coughs.
One time I had a real bad cold. Probably was the flu. It might have been COVID, like 13 or 12, right? And my grandmama, she tried to convince me to pee in a cup and then drink it and then let her pray over the cup, and that'll heal me. But I didn't go for it, bro. That might be the solution to COVID-19. That might be what the damn...
A little pee in the cup?
Yeah. She tried to get me to do it, man. The drinking, I had to drink it all, she said. And then she was going to pray over the cup.
Yeah, I don't know if that's where it come from, but I think the cure from... Whatever cure for COVID got to come from some combo of Vicks Vapor Rub and Robitussin.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like maybe figuring out a way to combine the two, and I guess a little pee in the cup.
Nah, I think you just got. If you just let a certified usher soak her peppermint in it, in the mixture of Vapor Rub and Robitussin, that might be the cure, bro.
That's very true. And it can't be a regular peppermint though. It gotta come from the little box, the little cookie box. You know what I mean? That we keep like sewing stuff in. That that you turn into that box. Yeah, it gotta come from that.
It gotta come out of there or at the bottom of a purse from an usher that's been at least 4 or 5 Bible studies.
Yeah. Your grandma ever gave you a peppermint that had a little tissue stuck to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be the ones that be like everything that melted to it. Like you gotta, first of all, you got to wrestle the cellophane off of it.
Right. And it had a little tissue part on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that's what we used to be made of. I don't think we made of that no more.
Nah, we not.
Cause that used to stick to you. You like that was a different kind of mint. Your breath wouldn't necessarily stink no more. Or if it when it wear off, there's like a heating sensation and there's like an exhaust. And that's why a lot of old ladies' breath stink. It's like the wearing off of the sticky tissue peppermint.
Yeah.
But
your kids ain't gonna your kids would never eat tissue peppermint.
Nah, not these new kids, man. Like not this new generation. Mike, I saw a video. Well, we'll have to get into that later, man. I saw a video of a little black girl. She took a bracelet and glued it to her teeth and made fake braces. That's what these kids doing now. But they won't suck on the peppermint with the tissue on.
Nah, bro.
I don't know how we got on this, Mike, but
But anyway, that lady, we never
This show was
figured out.
good.
We never figured out if that lady had the Book of Man, I mean Book of Adam.
Book of names. Yeah,
Book of
I don't.
Names.
Yeah.
Sons
It's
of Adam,
somewhere
Book
there.
of Names. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere there. I did notice that when she walked back in, like she got a little moist because he had took his
Shirt off.
shirt off. Yeah. So I thought that was weird. So hopefully, we don't find out he smashed the lady from the Deaconess board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, that ain't. He might be the mother of the church, man. She might be the mother of the church.
Yeah, I think she was. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see, man. I really feel like, they said it's 3 more episodes. I feel like they're getting closer to the book. Do you feel like we'll get a snapshot of the book in which Tick takes possession of it?
I don't know. So is that, like, I was thinking about that last night, right? Is that the ultimate goal for them to get the Book of Adam?
I mean,
Book of Names.
Because
I was wondering, like, so what is the end game? Like, how do they win this?
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. So this the lens in which I thought about it, right? I thought about, we rarely get Black shows that go in depth with Black lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
So much of our Black lived experience is a particular export for like all culture, but we never really see it explored in a way that like this show does, right?
Right.
I think that, I mean, one of my fears for the show is that, and I think this is because of The Watchmen. I hope we don't get one season of this. And I hope that with the second season, we get more depth. We continue to find more depth to Blackness. Like, if he's making reference to like all of these different people, like Bessie Stringfield and, like Bobo, like, is the show to just continue to spread light on these Black people that we never heard of? I mean, that we've heard of, but like pop culture hasn't. Or is there another level that we can go that we haven't explored yet? Like, do we get into the Umar Johnsons of Blackness, the barbershop talks of Blackness, like people that exist in a space that,
right?
You know what I mean? You know what I'm
so
saying?
We are, because I mean, like I see what you're saying, because there are like people on this show who like we all are familiar with,
right?
But we don't, like, it's not exportable to the larger culture, right?
Right.
But they're not afraid to talk about, for instance, ushers, right?
Right.
Hey, do
Even
white
that.
people have ushers? Do white churches have ushers?
I don't think they do. Like,
Do they have usher boards?
Huh?
Do they have usher boards?
No, I don't think they got any of that. They have like now they do have like youth choir leaders, and normally them dudes be like, on the weirdo side of the game.
Yeah. But so yeah, like that, like how the whole, like, for instance, there's a whole culture that was just stolen from Black drag queens that always existed, and now just white people just be like, really, the Kardashians are Black drag queens.
Yeah. I mean, you got that, but like, do you feel like there's a benefit to exploring other sides of whiteness? Like,
no, we know all the white people. Like,
no. I mean, what I'm saying is like how. I mean, like we know that white people are fucked up. You know what I mean? But like, the way Black culture is put on a pedestal, and not necessarily a pedestal, but just put in headlines front and center everything. Like, do we get to understand why white people don't have family reunion buses?
Right.
Like, do white people have family reunions? You know what I mean? Like this, that type, like where do we go with the things that are
like
certain?
why do white people have funerals outside?
Right. They go straight to the gravesite.
Yeah.
Now,
Or
my
what do
grandmother
they
has
do
a
after
very
funerals?
interesting theory about that.
What do they do after funerals?
My grandmother said that white people turn black 2 days after they die. That's why they have their funerals
I don't
so
think there's any
soon.
historical
That's why
precedent for
they
that.
have their funerals so soon. like even that would be a hilarious episode.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get that, but I mean, like stuff like that. Like, can we explore where that comes from? Like, what ideas have been planted in Black minds as we navigate this tumultuous world of whiteness and white supremacy?
Yeah, because I know I dated a girl, man, one time, and the reason I broke up with her is because she was adamant that all white people are born with tails.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
Like
there's a
hear
lot of people who believe that though.
exactly, and then that gets applied to Black people, and then they call us monkeys.
Right.
But then you be in the wild and you see them, and they be hairy as fuck, and it's like what is going on here? Like, you know, it's like the Looney Tunes ification of society, that there are things in the back of our heads that are still there that we are completely subconscious to. I mean, completely oblivious. I mean, it's in our subconscious and we're completely oblivious to. So
right.
I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see where the show go. Not only just these next 3 episodes, but then next season. So
yeah,
and we get another season. So yeah. Anyway, man, we have gone on. We'll see, man. We'll be back next week, everybody. I am B Stuck.
I am Michael Harriet.
And we are the Real Negus. This is Dak Craft.
Dak Craft.
Dak Craft.
Dak Craft.
The Real Negus, and we back.
For that ass.
Dak Craft.
Dak Craft.
Dak Craft.
Dak Craft.
HBO got a show about blacks.
And it's not whack.
At all. Peace.